we do. We are a team of inside sales agents located here in the US. So we're up in Buffalo, New York, and we typically focus on any of your inbound internet leads. So if you guys are generating anything as far as Realtor.com, Facebook ads through commands, anything from your website, these are some of the examples of leads that we would be focusing on. And we would basically handle all of your ISA activity for these leads as far as the initial response, all your follow-up, nurturing, and of course the scrubbing of the leads, so that you guys are really just focusing your time on the hot leads while we handle everything else. Now, for those of you who are familiar with generating online leads, you guys know that these leads tend to come in at the worst possible time. Whether it be a Thursday night at 6 p.m. when you just sat down for dinner or just hopped in the shower, or Saturday at 2 p.m. when you are out showing a home with another client. So this does bring you to an interesting ultimatum. Do you want to leave the client you're currently with to go respond to this new lead, or do you not respond to this new lead and risk losing that opportunity when you have the highest chance of contacting and eventually converting them? So this is an issue that the real estate industry has been facing over the last few years, which is that home sales have stayed consistent over time as internet leads continue to increase year after year. Now, for the Conversion Monster solution, in 2015, we were born out of necessity to bridge that gap between home sales and internet leads. And we do this through immediate response, systematic follow-up, and long-term nurturing. Now, I did just want to pull up a quick cost comparison. So this would show the difference between hiring an ISA in-house as opposed to hiring Conversion Monster. So generally speaking, we are about an 80% lower cost than hiring an in-house ISA. And assuming that ISA works about 40 hours per week, we do provide twice the coverage as well. So just so you guys know, we are about 80 hours of calling coverage per week, which is going to be Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, Sunday is 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. That is across all time zones. And we do provide 24/7 coverage as well. So just so you know, if a lead does come in after those hours, like let's say a lead comes in at midnight, we would send out the initial email and text. Of course, we do email and text along with the phone calls. And if the lead responds to that email or text after hours, then we will have a real live ISA engaging with them throughout the night. And then, of course, we would call them immediately the next morning. So as a client with Conversion Monster, you guys will be covered 24/7, 365 days of the year. All right, and now moving over, I just wanted to pull up some quick industry stats here along with some of our statistics just to paint a clearer picture for you guys. So as a client with Conversion Monster, 100% of your leads will be responded to within the first 5 minutes. We're going to be talking a lot about why that quick response time is so crucial, including right here in the next stat, which is that you are 2.5 times more likely to convert a lead if you're the first agent to make contact. So again, if you guys are familiar generating online leads, you know that with a lot of sources, they're actually going out to multiple agents in your area at the same time. So it really is like a race to see who can get to them first. So again, very, very important that we're the first team reaching out, making sure that we're making contact before anybody else. And that's really what makes the difference in our results. Now, the final stat here, I know most people are familiar with, but 72% of people choose the first agent they've met face-to-face. And ideally, this is exactly what we're looking to do for you guys. Of course, we're going to take each lead through our qualification process. So we ask each lead a series of qualifying questions. And then once we determine them as hot and ready to speak with you, that's when we're going to go ahead and pass them off to you on a silver platter, also known as the live transfer. So you guys can do what you do best, which is close for that face-to-face appointment and eventually convert that lead into business. Now, moving over here to our, again, with the response time, I really just wanted to drill this in, guys, just to show you how crucial it really is. So you can see here that your contact rate will decrease by 50% after the first 5 minutes. And from there on, it's really just a complete downward slope. By the time we get to 30 minutes, your contact rate will decrease by more than 97%. So again, put yourself in the situation where you're out with the client showing a home when one of these new leads comes in. You guys might not be able to respond for the first 5 minutes, the first 30 minutes, or even the first hour. So again, just very, very important to make sure that you have a system in place like Conversion Monster to make sure that you are responding to these leads right as they come in. I know we find by far our highest contact rate within that first 5 minute period. All right, now moving over here to our process. So just to give you guys an idea of how everything works, basically anytime you have a new lead come in from any of your online sources, we would be setting up an automatic forwarding system so that we receive the leads at the exact same time as you. Now, again, of course, we are calling every lead within the first 5 minutes because we do want to catch them while they're still online looking at properties. Now, if we cannot make contact on that first call, then we're going to be hitting each lead with a series of 17 touch points over the first 10-day period. And just so you guys know, within those 17 touches, we'll include 6 phone calls. And then we also do emails, texts, and ringless voicemails. But by far the biggest factor, guys, and I really can't emphasize this enough, especially when we're talking about the longer term lead sources like the Facebook ads through commands or IDX, anything like that, is if we still can't reach the lead in those 10 days at all, then we would continue to follow up. And this would consist of 1 phone call and then emails and texts every 30 days. That's going to go for an entire year. So as a client with CM, you guys can understand that every lead will be nurtured for at least 1 year, whether we make contact or not. So just keep in mind that leads would constantly be building up in our system month after month, as your cost stays the same for just the new leads. In other words, you are never charged for the same lead twice. So that's exactly how we are going to be working each lead. Before I go away from this slide, just so you guys know, we like to say at least 1 year of coverage for every lead, because if there's ever a time where we put, let's say we put a lead through our full year of touch points, it works out to 75 total touch points over the course of a year. If we absolutely make 0 contact with that lead over the 12 months, which happens less than 3% of the time, at that point, we would finally consider that lead dead and stop following up after 1 year. But to be honest, we usually make some sort of contact with them throughout the full year of touches. So if we do speak with somebody and they say that they're a year out from buying, 2 years out, 3 years, whatever it is, as long as you're still a client with us, then we will nurture them until they're ready to go. So that's why I just want to emphasize that it is at least 1 year of coverage for every single lead. Now, I did briefly mention earlier that our team is US based. So again, for anybody hopping in here, we are located in Buffalo, New York. And just so you guys know, we also have a former Keller Williams math coach that handles the training with our entire team as well. So if you guys do want to check him out, his name is Brian Eisenhower. He's really great. He actually has his own coaching company now, and his website is www.therealestatetrainer.com. So we love Brian. He really keeps our ISAs on their toes and does a great job with the training. So I just wanted to put this in here as well, so you guys have a little bit of a better understanding of how they are trained. Now, I just wanted to also say here that we don't do any long-term contracts. So if you guys did sign up, it would be on a month-to-month basis. And the only thing that we do require is 30 days notice of cancellation. So keep in mind that you guys won't be locked in for 6 months, a year, or anything like that. Although we don't do any long-term contracts, we always want to encourage all of our clients to give us at least 3 to 6 months, especially when we're talking about some of these top of the funnel and longer-term lead sources. You know, for instance, we all know that Facebook ads don't typically convert for about 6 to 12 months. So we definitely want you guys to give us at least 3 to 6 months so we can really show you what we can do and give you an idea of the full results. Now, moving over to the qualification process. So the way that it works, guys, whenever we get a lead on the phone, first and foremost, everything that we're doing is going to be fully branded to you and or your team. So we would be calling on behalf of you or with your team. Of course, it would be from a local area code of your choice. So the lead thinks that we're an assistant right there in your office. They will never hear anything about Conversion Monster. Same thing with the emails. Of course, we are going to be doing emails for you guys as well. So if you guys have a domain that you use, we would just recommend that you keep that domain. For instance, if it is, john@johndoeteam.com, we would recommend doing something like clientcare@johndoeteam.com or concierge@. So of course, everything we're doing is staying consistent with your brand, but it's going to be us communicating with your leads back and forth. Now, when we do get a lead on the phone, I just want you guys to know that we do, of course, approach each lead source differently. To give you a quick example, if we're talking to a Realtor.com lead, we're going to be much more aggressive, immediately reference the property that they inquired about, see if they want to go out on a showing, as opposed to if it's a Facebook ad or, an organic IDX lead, it's going to be a much softer approach and more about staying in front of each lead over time and building rapport until they are ready. But the objective of our calls is to ask our 6 qualifying questions. So we do want to go as in-depth as possible when scrubbing them for you. Now, I did list them up here on the screen for you guys, but I do want to just go through them with you as well. So the 6 questions we are always going to ask are you working with or under contract with a real estate agent? What is your time frame for buying or selling? What budget are you looking at? For buyer leads, we are always going to ask if they have a home to sell first. And that's actually one that I do want to hone in on just for a sec here, guys. Keep in mind that we do work buyer and seller leads. Again, as long as they're an internet-based lead, we can absolutely work them for you. And most of the seller leads that we're used to working are the home valuation leads. So if you guys are doing any bold leads, Z-buyer, things like that, just keep in mind we can absolutely work them for you. But just so you know that even on the buyer leads, we're always going to ask that question if they have a home to sell first. Of course, we want to go for the 2 birds, 1 stone and convert that into a buyer and seller lead for you. and that does happen all the time. So you guys can just know that we do ask that question for every lead. The next question that we're asking is, which locations and zip codes are you primarily looking in? And then, of course, have you been pre-approved? Are you paying cash, etc.? Quick side note on that last qualifier as well. So if you guys have any preferred lenders that you do co-marketing with or just work with in general, keep in mind that anytime we speak with someone who has not been pre-approved and needs lending assistance, of course, we will go ahead and send those hot leads directly to any of your preferred lenders as well. So just keep in mind that they'll also be receiving appointments out of this on the mortgage side. So you are more than welcome to split the cost with any lenders, of course, if they are willing. Now, of course, once we fully qualify a lead and determine them as hot, that's when we're always going to be pushing for the live transfer directly over to you.
I don't mean to cut you off or anything. I just want to let everyone who just entered know, just ask any questions in the chat. If there's anything you do have a question about, we'd love to answer it for you, okay?
Absolutely, yes. Thank you for letting me know, Annie. And yeah, if you guys do have a question, we definitely want to encourage you to hop on screen so we can just address your question directly. But if not, there's also the Q&A section on the right-hand side if you guys want to drop a question in, and I'd be happy to answer them for you in real time as well. So moving on here, I just finished up talking about how we're going to be asking 6 qualifying questions to each lead. And then once we do fully qualify a lead and determine them as hot, that's when we are always going to be pushing for the live transfer directly over to you or your team. Now, as far as how the live transfer works, basically, actually, before I do that, I just want to express as well, anybody that we send over to you guys as quote unquote hot and ready to be qualified or spoken to by you guys, of course, is not going to be working with or under contract with an agent looking to buy or sell within the next 3 to 6 months. And of course, they agree to speaking with you about either their home search or the sale of their home as well. So once we do have everything, the ISA would say something along the lines of, okay, great. I have all the information that I need here. Let me go ahead and get my agent on the phone. Again, she's the real expert in the area. Just give me one moment here. So at that point, the ISA will put the lead on a brief hold, and we're going to dial you or your agents directly on the live transfer. Keep in mind that we will be live transferring to you from the same phone number every time. So you and your agents can actually plug it into your phone as CM hot lead or $signs, whatever you want. But you will definitely know that that's us calling with a hot lead on the phone. Now, when the agent or one of your agents answers the call, of course, it will just be you and the ISA on the phone. So you guys can feel free to speak freely. The ISA would say something like, hey, this is Matt over in client care. I have John Doe on the phone. He's looking for a 4-bedroom, 3-bath in these zip codes. He's hoping to make a move in the next 3 or 4 months, and he's just been pre-approved for $500,000. You have a quick moment to speak with him. At that point, you would say, yes, go ahead and patch him through, and the ISA will exit the line. And at that point, it will just be you and the lead on the phone at the same time. Keep in mind that whether you guys
sorry to cut you off. We actually have a quick question from Jack.
Cool.
Is the integration with Command Facebook campaigns up and running?
Yes, it is. So that's a really good question, Jack. So we are already integrated with Command on the solo agent level right now, and we're expecting to be integrated with them on the Rainmaker level in the next 30 days or so, is what KW is saying. But even if you guys do have a Rainmaker account, we could still link the API integration with your system on a solo agent level. So at least we can get our activity into one person's account inside of your Command. So you guys can see our notes from the calls, email, text correspondence, etc., inside of your own Command. It is also a 2-way integration that we're live with. So not only is our information going to be feeding into your system, but we're also going to be using various tags back and forth to notify each other of certain things. And I'm actually going to go over some examples of those as we go on here in the presentation. The one thing I wanted to touch on with this slide is whether you guys answer the live transfers or not, you are always going to be receiving the hot lead email from us in real time as well. So I'm actually going to dive into that here in just a moment. But of course, if you guys are a solo agent, that makes it easy enough for us. We're just going to live transfer everything directly to you and then send you the hot lead email in real time as well. But if you guys do have a team of agents, there's a lot of different ways that we can do the hot lead distribution to your team. That part is completely customizable and up to you. So I did just want to list a couple of the examples up here. We could do a round robin basis for some of our smaller teams, so 4 or less agents. Other than that, it starts to get a little bit tricky. So round robin is fine for some smaller teams. If you guys have the leads coming in and automatically assigning to an agent in your CRM, we will always see who the assigned agent is on the lead alert. So keep in mind, we can always send the hot leads directly to that assigned agent. And probably the most recommended method that we found, especially with some of our bigger teams, would be that you can acquire a broadcast number through like Google Voice, Grasshopper, RingCentral would be some examples. So this is something that you guys would acquire, but I know with Google Voice in particular, I think the basic packages are only like $5 or $10 per month. So very, very cost effective. And if you guys did choose to go down this route, of course, when we have a hot lead on the phone, we would just dial one number, which rings multiple agents at the same time. So a lot of different ways we could do that hot lead distro, and that is completely up to you guys. Now, again, I did just want to dive into the hot lead email just to give you guys a little bit of a better idea. So this is exactly what it's going to look like. And again, even if you do answer the live transfer, you guys can expect to receive this email within about 90 seconds. So you can actually refer back to it when you have the lead on the phone, and you'll be very prepared to speak with that lead. You won't have to worry about asking the same questions that we just went through with them, because you're going to have all this info right in front of you. So of course, it's going to have the ISA who made the call. So this is the one that just converted it into an appointment. The lead information as far as their name, phone number, and email. If the lead inquired about a specific property, or if they have a property to sell, of course, we're going to include that for you as well. And you could see with this example in particular that the agent did not answer the live transfer. So we did set a callback appointment, a firm date and time. So that's one thing I did want to bring up, guys. Just keep in mind that we did move to a live transfer only model a couple of months ago. So the only time that we would set a callback appointment for you on a hot lead would be if you do not answer the live transfer. And one other thing is that you'll never see a hot lead email come through that says call back as soon as you can, or call back once you have a moment. We will always get a firm date and time from the lead as to when they're available, so we know that they're going to answer that call back from you. All right, now moving down below, of course, we have the answers to our 6 qualifying questions that I went over a little bit earlier. And below there, we have the detailed notes from the call as well. So keep in mind that the ISAs are trained to keep everything as detailed as possible. They know that, of course, the more information we can provide you guys with, the easier it makes your job. So again, this is exactly what the hot lead email will look like, and you guys can expect to receive these whether you answer the live transfers or not. Now, moving over to the reporting, this is some real fun stuff. So as a client with Conversion Monster, you guys can expect to receive reports on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, and they're going to be coming right to your email. Now, the first example that I'm going to show you is the weekly reports. So these will be a full breakdown of all hot leads that we've sent over to you or your team in the last week. So again, you guys can see up here, it says yesterday's appointments. It'll have the time that we converted the lead. This is the ISA that made the call, all of the lead contact info. This one in particular was a buyer, but of course, if it was a seller lead, that would be tagged up there as well. We have their criteria, and then again, all of the notes and the information that we gathered from the call. So very important that you guys checking your email for these reports, just so you can manage all the hot leads that we've been sending over to you guys. And to be honest, if you have a team, it also helps keep your agents accountable as well. Because, you know, if we sent, let's say, 4 or 5 hot leads over to agent A this week, and then, you know, nothing's really happening with them, it's a lot easier for you guys to then take action and make sure your agents are doing what they're supposed to be. So again, very important to make sure that you're looking at these reports. Now, as far as the daily and monthly reports, this one in particular is a monthly, but they look almost identical, and they're going to be more about your statistics. So as you guys can see here, it's going to show exactly how many leads we've worked for the month, the number of contacts that we've made, number of successful live transfers, appointments set, and the nurtures added as well. And I just want to reiterate, of course, again, we're only going to be setting a callback appointment on a hot lead if you guys are unable to answer the live transfer. And I do just want to mention that we really want to encourage you guys to answer as many of the live transfers as you can. We find that it really seems to solidify the appointment. You know, even if you're out with another client and the live transfer comes in, it's almost better to just answer it for 30 seconds and say, hey, listen, my name is Matt Rizzo. I'm really looking forward to speaking with you. I'm just out on a showing right now. Would it be all right if I give you a call in about 30 minutes? Just so that in case another agent ended up calling that lead, they would say, nope, I'm all set. I have an appointment with Matt in about 30 minutes. So again, really want to encourage you guys to answer as many of those live transfers as possible. And then just to hone in on the nurtures added over here, I mentioned earlier that we do nurture every lead for at least 1 year, whether we make contact or not. So again, if we don't make any contact, that's when it would be ending at 1 year of coverage. But these nurtures added means that we actually did make contact with the lead, and they were just further than 6 months out. So if someone says that they're a year out from buying or 2 years out from selling, whatever it is, of course, we're going to nurture that for you guys as well. So we would typically set a specific task to follow up with that lead, all dependent on their time frame. So for example, if somebody said, I'm a year out from buying, we would typically touch base with them in about a month just to check in and make sure nothing has changed. As opposed to if somebody said that they're 2 years out, we probably wouldn't touch base for about 3 to 6 months, again, just to check in. So just wanted you guys to know that's what these nurtures mean in the daily and the monthly reports. And now moving over to this slide, I touched on most of this stuff already earlier in the presentation, but the one that I wanted to focus on down here was the building relationships. So again, guys, especially when we're talking about these longer term top of the funnel leads like the Facebook ads through command or organic IDX, things like that, we're really not necessarily trying to convert that lead on the first phone call. We just want to make sure that we're getting your brand in front of their face from the very beginning. And then again, staying in front of that lead over time and building rapport until they're ready. I mean, we all know that the Facebook ads through command, for instance, don't typically convert for about 6 to 12 months. So, we're going to be the ones that are staying in front of them, sending them listings and all this stuff, so that when it does come time for them to transact, of course, they're going to want to go with your team because we've been the one that have been staying in front of them. So it really does translate into our results. And I just really want to really emphasize how crucial that nurturing is. And that's really the main differentiation between us and a lot of these other ISA services out there as well. Now, moving over to our additional services, we are very, very excited to have rolled out our Premier division, which actually consists of 3 different branches. So that would be our luxury division, our custom scripting division, and then our marketing team as well. So as far as our luxury division goes, if you guys are in a luxury market, like let's say Malibu, California, or Soho, anything like that, I would definitely say that the luxury package would be a better fit for you. Instead of it being just a rotation basis of ISAs, it's going to be a dedicated smaller team of ISAs that have a combined 75 plus years of luxury real estate experience. So they'll actually be able to focus much more on your account. The phone script, email, and text content is also customizable, so you guys can add stuff in there and work with our team during the onboarding process. Throw things in the email, text content that are more geared towards your market and things like that. So it's really a huge difference for our luxury clients, and it's been really producing great results as well. Just want to let you guys know, for the luxury package, it's a much more subtle cadence as well. So as opposed to doing the 17 touch points over the first 10 days, it would be 13 contact attempts in the first 10-day period. Of course, we don't want to be too aggressive off the bat and scare these luxury leads away. So that's why we did spread the cadence out for this plan as well. And same thing, it is going to be a little bit softer throughout the year. Instead of 75 total touch points for our standard new leads, it would be a total of 43 contact attempts over the 12 months. So a little bit more subtle. And of course, again, 75 plus years of experience for all of our luxury ISAs, and they really will be able to just focus more on your account. So inquire a little bit more about the luxury package, and one of our team members would be happy to reach out to you just to discuss a little bit further. Now, going into our custom scripting division, if you guys are in a niche market, like let's say a secondary home market or a lot of investments, I would say that the custom scripting plan would probably be the best for you. We would actually customize the email and text content for the first 90 days. So again, if there's anything that you guys want to work with our team on and hone in on, hot neighborhoods, school districts, local destinations, things like that, we'd be happy to add that into the customized email and text content. And another huge difference with this plan is you can add an additional 3 qualifying questions. I know a lot of our clients do ask us if we can ask additional questions that are more geared toward their market or their clients. So if that's the case with you guys, then this is definitely the route for you to go. So we can add any additional 3 questions that you guys want us to ask, and you can also subtract any of the other normal qualifying questions that we typically ask. Now, the pricing for the custom scripting division is going to be a flat $8.95 per new lead. I know I've said this many times already, guys, but just keep in mind that you are only charged for each lead once when they enter our system as new. And then, of course, we do nurture every lead for at least 1 year, whether we make contact or not. So you guys will never be charged for the same lead twice, whether it's luxury, custom scripting, standard, or anything. I just realized I actually glossed over the luxury pricing as well. So just so you guys know, for the luxury plan, it's going to be a flat $14.95 per new lead. Again, you're only charged for each lead once. So that's how the luxury and the custom scripting divisions will work. As far as our marketing team, this one we're very excited about because as of now, it is exclusively available for our KW Command clients. So we can actually place the Facebook ads for you guys through your command and take the lead generation off of your plate as well. We would typically focus on advertising your listings, but if you guys don't have any active listings, not to worry. We also do some brand awareness ads as well. And throughout the onboarding process, you guys will be working closely with our marketing team to come up with the content and everything like that for the Facebook ads. You would also be able to control your ad spend. So you decide how much you want to spend, and then we will generate the leads from there. And if you guys just don't have the time to generate the Facebook ads, or if you've been trying it and not really finding good results, I would definitely recommend trying us out for it because we have a team that's just dedicated to doing this. They're measuring metrics as far as which days of the week are producing the most engagement, what times of day, what kind of content to put on there. So we are going to be generating the highest quality of Facebook leads. And again, if you guys did try us out for this, we would take the lead generation off of your plate. Once the lead comes in, we're putting through our full ISA process. You guys really aren't worrying about that lead until it's hot, fully qualified, and ready to speak with you, at which point we're going to pass it off on a silver platter. So how the pricing works for our marketing division, it will just be a flat $395 per month. So that's $395 per month. And then at the end of each month, it will be also 10% of your ad spend. So if you guys had a $1,000 ad spend a month, it'll be the $395 a month plus $100. You'd be looking at $495 a month for us to be doing this for you. And I do want to mention that we have a great promotion going for the marketing division as well. So I'm going to touch on that here at the end of the presentation. And that promo is only going to be running through tomorrow, Thursday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So just here while we're at MegaCamp. So definitely would advise you guys to act fast on that as well. A couple things just to touch on for the marketing team as well. You guys would be receiving weekly white label reports directly to your email. And of course, everything with our campaigns and our ads that we're placing for you guys are going to stay consistent with your brand. So obviously, it's not going to have anything to do with Conversion Monster. It's going to be all branded to you and or your team. So that's how our marketing division works. And now moving over to our Revive plans. So I know a lot of agents have a ton of older leads that have been building up in their system over time and just kind of collect dust in their database. If that sounds like you guys, then I would definitely recommend trying us out for our Revive plan, because we really tend to find some gold in there. Again, as long as it's an internet-based lead, new or old, buyer or seller, it doesn't matter. We can absolutely work it for you guys. Now, for the Revive plan, of course, we do work these leads on a slightly less aggressive cadence, being that they are older leads. So for these, it would be 15 touch points to each older lead over the first 15 days, which is going to include 3 phone calls. And then we do nurture those leads for 1 year as well. So it's going to be a total of 75 touch points to each older lead over the course of a year. That cadence is a combo of live phone calls, emails, texts, and ringless voicemails. Now, the pricing for the older or Revive leads is usually at $3.99 per lead. It's just a one-time charge up front, and then we do nurture them for 1 year as well. But we do have another great special running for the Revive plan this week, where if you guys were looking to add any number of older leads on top of new leads, then we would be cutting the Revive pricing by 25% from $3.99 down to $2.99 per old lead if you guys wanted to take advantage. Now, for the Revive leads, we would basically show you guys how to export them onto a spreadsheet. So you would handpick whichever ones you want us to work and go ahead and export them onto a spreadsheet so that we can upload them into our system and get to work on them right away. We usually recommend that you guys send over the most recent ones first, of course, so we have the highest chance of converting them, but that's exactly how we would handle these older leads. So again, if you guys do have 500 old leads or 1,000 old leads that are just sitting in your system, not being remarketed and nobody's reaching out to them, I would say it's definitely more than worth it to have us put them through our process. Because again, sometimes these leads come in 6 months ago, especially the Facebook ads, and they're not ready and they're not going to even really start their search for another 6 months. So, you know, sometimes when people send us older leads, when we're talking about the Facebook ads or IDX, things like that, once we're putting them through our process, it's actually the perfect time that we're just starting to reach out to them. So just wanted to touch on that as well. Now, I know we got a question about this earlier, so I definitely want to talk about our integration. I did bring it up earlier, but we are already integrated with KW Command on the solo agent level, and we're expected to be integrated on the Rainmaker level in the next 30 days or so is what KW is telling us right now. But not to worry, again, if you guys do have a Rainmaker account, we could still link the API with your command right now on the solo agent level. So to give you an example, if you have a team of 5 agents, we can still link the API with one person's account and command, maybe the team leader or the Rainmaker. So at least all of our notes, the email, text correspondence, etc., is going into one account inside of your command, and you guys will be able to see everything that we're doing in your own system. I know I brought this up earlier, but it's not just a one-way API. It is going to be a two-way integration as well. So again, there is going to be various tags that we're using back and forth to notify each other of certain things. Just to give you guys a couple of examples, let's say that we're actively working a lead. You know, we're putting them through our process of 17 touches in 10 days, and we're really not making much contact. Let's say for some reason that lead reaches out to you directly or one of your agents directly and sets up an appointment. Of course, from there, you would want us to stop following up. We don't want to keep hitting them with touches and seem unprofessional. So instead of shooting us an email or calling us, you guys could simply tag any lead in this situation as CM-stop. So that's going to prompt us to cease all communication with that lead immediately. And let me just take one sip of water.
I just wanted to remind anybody who just joined us, please ask us any questions if you have any, either in the chat or you can come on stream, anything. We'd love to answer any questions you may have.
Absolutely, guys. Yeah, we definitely want to answer your questions in real time. So just feel free to stop me. If anybody wants to hop on camera, we can absolutely address your questions that way, or you can use the Q&A section on the right-hand side as well. So going back into the KW Command integration, another example of the tag that you guys would be using is, let's say that we sent a hot lead over to you or your team, and a week later they go ghost on you guys, or if you figured out they required further nurturing, anything like that, we definitely want to encourage you to send back over to us. So in this case, you can go ahead and apply the CM-Revive tag. That'll prompt us to put that lead right back into our process. So we'll get them on the phone for you. And of course, you are never charged for the same lead twice. So of course, our onboarding team will go over the full list of tags with you guys. I just wanted to emphasize that it's not just a one-way API, it is a two-way API integration with Command. Now, just before I show you guys exactly what it would look like in your command, I do want to mention that we also have an API integration with 4 other systems. So if you guys don't use command as your primary CRM, we are also integrated with Follow Up Boss, Boomtown, Real Geeks, and Firepoint. And all of those API integrations are also two-way. So don't want you guys to feel left out if you don't use command as your primary CRM. And now moving over here, I just wanted to show you guys exactly what it will look like inside your command.
Matt, before you touch on that real quick, I do think we just have a quick question. Justin was just asking about the texting in the initial stage. What's too much texting in the initial stage? Meaning with all these CRMs sending a campaign and property alerts plus chasing buyers down. So I think just maybe if you could go into our cadence a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a really good question, Dustin. What we usually would recommend is if you guys are sending out, your own drips via text and email in your CRM, anything that's more content driven. So let's say listing alerts, market snapshots, anything like that, we would recommend for you to leave on, because really all of our texts and emails are meant to trigger a response from the lead. The thing is that we do hit each lead with 17 touch points over the first 10 days, which is going to include 6 calls and then 5 text messages. So I do agree that over the first 10-day period, we don't want multiple texts going out from us and your CRM, because we don't want to be too aggressive and scare these leads away. So if you guys are sending out anything similar to what we're going to be sending out, just trying to trigger a response from the lead, we would just usually recommend that you guys go ahead and turn those off. The reason why we like to have ourselves do the emailing instead of your CRM is because of a lead response to an email in your system. You guys might be out showing a property and unable to respond right away, as opposed to if a lead responds to one of our emails or texts, we're going to be engaging them immediately. So that's usually what we would recommend if you guys do have your own drips going out in your CRM. And hopping back in here as well. So you guys, again, will be able to see everything that we're doing inside your command as far as our notes from the calls, the email, text correspondence, etc., inside of your own system. So you can see here, you can see when the time was, when the time of the call was, got a little tongue tied there, sorry, when the call was made. So the timestamps, of course, are going to be there. You see that this one had a text conversation with one of our ISAs as well. So you're not going to see the text correspondence, but actually see what the conversation consisted of. And I'm actually going to show you guys what a hot lead will look like in your system as well. So again, we always want to keep everything as detailed as possible for you guys. I said it earlier, but the ISAs are trained this way because we know the more information we can provide you with, the easier it makes your job. So this is exactly what a hot lead is going to look like. And of course, these notes parse into your command in real time. So it has the answers to our 6 qualifying questions and all of the detailed notes from the call. And you could see with this one in particular, we went for the live transfer to the agent. Unfortunately, they did not pick up. So at that point, we did set up a phone appointment for the agent to call back. And again, I just want to reiterate that we are a live transfer only model, guys. So the only time we will be setting up a phone appointment on a hot lead is if you are unable to answer the live transfer. Any more questions, or we're good, Annie? All right, I'll take that as we're good. So we're going to move on here. I think we have a good 20.
It looks like we're good so far. I'm sorry.
All right, cool. No problem. If there is any, again, just stop me, because I would definitely want to address them in real time. And we have about 25 minutes here. So I think I'll probably be wrapping up with the presentation in the next 10 or 15 minutes. I definitely do want to leave time for questions at the end. So moving over to our onboarding. So we are already inside the KW Marketplace. If you guys sign into the Marketplace, on the top right, you'll see the search bar. You can just go ahead and search for Conversion Monster. Once we pop up, you can just go ahead and click Buy Now. And then this is going to prorate your platform management cost, which I'm about to go over now, is the pricing. So I went over the pricing for our luxury, custom scripting, and the marketing, as well as the revive. The only one that I have not touched on yet is just our standard new lead packages. So again, this would be the 17 touches over the first 10 days, and then of course, nurturing every lead for 1 year. So the way that the pricing works is it would just be a flat $5.50 per new lead. Again, I said it plenty of times, but really want to drill in that you guys are only charged for each lead once when they enter our system as new. So as everything builds up month after month with the nurturing, you will never be charged for the same lead twice. So again, flat $5.50 per new lead. Then we do have the platform management cost, which is $2.95 a month. And the only other cost that we have associated is just the one-time onboarding fee, which is $9.95. But spoiler alert, we do have a great promotion going on the onboarding fee, which we're just running here while we're at MegaCamp. So this promo is going to be actually ending tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time once MegaCamp is over. But we're actually just waiving the $9.95 onboarding fee. So it's $1,000 in savings. I would definitely recommend you guys to act fast if you do want to try us out to make sure that you do receive this promotion. Now, moving over to the next steps. Once you do sign up for us in the marketplace, you guys are automatically going to receive our terms of service. So this is an agreement that we're both going to sign, of course, before starting your setup process. So this is, of course, going to go into how all of your leads are protected. We can never share them with anyone. It will have any promos that you guys accumulated here at MegaCamp, as well as the month-to-month basis with the 30 days notice of cancellation. So for anybody new popping in here, I just want to reiterate that we don't do any long-term contracts. It is a month-to-month basis, and the only thing that we do require is 30 days notice of cancellation. So once you guys get the signed terms of service back to us, that's when you'll automatically receive our onboarding questionnaire. So this questionnaire should only take you about 5 to 10 minutes to complete. It's going to ask you things like the best contact information for yourself, the contact information for your agents for the hot lead distribution. It'll ask for the login credentials for your CRM so that we can start to link the API integration if that's applicable and things like that. So again, it should only take about 5 to 10 minutes to get through that. And then once you guys do complete the onboarding questionnaire, at that point, you will be able to see our onboarding manager's calendar. So you can go ahead and schedule yourselves in for the setup call, whichever date and time you guys are available. And just so you know, the setup call is the 20 to 30 minute call where our onboarding manager is going to go over all the specifics as far as the lead forwarding, how you guys want the hot leads distributed to your team, all the integration and tagging between our system and yours, etc. So they will walk you through everything and make sure that you are prepared to go live. The whole setup process right now is averaging about 10 to 12 days. But I said it earlier, I do expect it to be closer to about 14 to 16 days by the end of tomorrow, because we are expecting to get quite a few signups here at MegaCamp. So again, we would advise you guys to act fast so that we can start calling your leads immediately. And as far as going live, when we say go live, that means we're actually starting to call your leads. So I just wanted to put in here as well that one day before you guys go live, this is when you will have your meet the team call with your client success manager. So your client success manager is going to be your best friend here at Conversion Monster. They're going to be your main point of contact from when you sign up with us throughout your whole life with us as a client. So on the Meet the Team call, they're going to go over things like best practices. They're going to make sure that the expectations are crystal cleared and you guys are fully prepared to go live, as well as your team. And then they're going to be doing things like weekly calls, account reviews, and just really making sure that your numbers are looking the way that they're supposed to be looking. So I personally love our client services reps. They're awesome. Very excited for you guys to meet them. And again, about 2 weeks right now, I said about 10 to 12 days, but about 2 weeks after you guys sign on and onboarding, you will be ready to go live. And we definitely hope that you guys are ready to elevate your real estate career. Now, the last thing that I'm going to pull up here is the promotions. I was actually just informed by our team that for some reason, this promotion code is not working in the marketplace. So KW is actually working on getting it fixed. If you guys do want to sign up for us, I'm going to actually put up our contact info right after this presentation. So you guys can actually just go ahead and reach out to either myself or one of our lovely team members, and we'll make sure that we do get you guys signed up with these promotions. So just to reiterate on the promotions, we are completely waiving the onboarding fee, which is usually $9.95. So this again is just going through tomorrow, Thursday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So again, $1,000 savings there. And the other promotion that we're running is actually for our marketing division. So I talked a little bit about it before, but just for the new people popping in here, we did just roll out our marketing division, which is exclusively available for our KW command clients. And we can actually place the Facebook ads for you guys and take the lead generation off of your plate as well. So whether you guys just haven't tried to do the Facebook ads yourselves, or if you've tried and just haven't been getting a good engagement rate, I would definitely recommend trying us out for the marketing team, especially since we're offering the free month for the first 20 people to sign up. And again, this is only going to be till tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So really nothing to lose here for you guys. We're going to be offering a free month of the marketing. We're going to give you a taste of what the leads are looking like. And again, I said it earlier, but we have a team that's dedicated and really measuring the metrics as far as when the best time of day is to place these ads, which days of the week we're finding the best engagement, of course, the content as well. So definitely recommend for you guys to try us out for that. And again, the first 20 agents will receive the first month completely free. At the end of that first month, you guys aren't locked into a contract. You can then decide if you want to continue with the marketing or decide not to. So really nothing to lose there. And again, if you guys did try us out for the marketing, we're going to generate the leads for you. Once the leads are coming in, we're going to put them through our full ISA process. And you guys are not worrying about these leads until they're fully qualified, hot, and ready to speak with you. So you're really spending your time the way that you should be on the hot leads, the ones who are ready to speak with you. And it's just going to help you close a ton more deals. Instead of worrying about the 100 or the 150 total leads coming in each month, you're only going to be worrying about the 10 or 15 who are hot and ready to speak with you. So that is all I got for the presentation. I do want to pull up our contact info here, especially since the promo code is not working. You guys might actually have to reach out to us. So you could email the info@conversion-monster.com email, but also sales@conversion-monster would probably be best. That'll connect you right with one of our great sales agents. My personal email, if you guys want to reach out, is just Matt, M-A-T-T, @conversion-monster.com. You guys can always feel free to shoot me an email if you want to just pick my brain or, ask some more questions. Our office line is also listed up here. This is the 844 number that goes to our sales team. Again, if there's a question that we didn't have a chance to tackle, if you guys want to schedule a one-on-one demo, we'd be happy to do that as well. And like I said earlier, for anybody new coming in here, we are U.S. based, so we are located up in Buffalo, New York. But how are we doing on questions, guys? Because that is all I got.
We're doing good, Matt. Great job. Doesn't we have any questions right now, but if anything pops to mind, please feel free to either come on the stream with us, or you can write